Taylor. Good to see everybody tonight. Good to see Mr. Taylor in the house again. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing just fine, brother. How about people got their seatbelts on tonight? Because I think this is going to be one heck of a roller coaster tonight, brother.
Yeah, and let me change that. He is my brother from another mother. I have to throw that in. If I don't, we let some folks win. So he is my brother from another mother, and that's how it is, and it's always going to be that way. Mark, good to see you tonight, buddy. A lot of things going on, a lot of things in the news that we've got to talk about. It's amazing how the news cycle from one night to the next, or 1 week from the next, man, I tell you, it's funny. We get off one show on a Monday night and we're already texting each other saying, hey, did you just hear about this? Couple of things I want to talk about at the beginning tonight. One is the Iran situation. President Trump this afternoon, and you and I both talk about this quite a bit. He never tweets without meaning. And he basically says that the United States is locked and loaded against those that perpetrated this attack on the Saudi oil refinery. Some of the Democrats, Tulsi Gabbard's out there tonight, basically screaming that it's Saudi Arabia that is pushing this war on us, that they're trying to draw us into this conflict with Iran. I'm not going to go that far, but I do want to get your thoughts on this, because we do know, Mark, that there are forces in this world, there are forces that do want to see America drawn into a long-term Middle East conflict, and we don't need to get the bait, but you got to protect your allies. You got to protect the interest of the United States in the Middle East. I'm just curious how you feel about all this, and we'll sort of launch it from here.
Well, I think we've got to be careful what we hear from the news right now, because the news is part of that whole narrative right now. You know what I mean? They want to see a conflict. They want to see America drawn in, like you just said a minute ago. I don't even listen to the news as far as that is concerned. I'm listening to what the president has to say.
Exactly.
We all know that the president's tweets mean a whole lot more than what most people realize, because of what Cyril Brain 2 has said. Our good buddy LT over there does a fantastic job with those. So I'll be interested to see what Cyril Brain has to say about some of this. But the thing is that we all know that the cabal's out there. They're still in charge of Iran, and Iran is I think at some point they will deal with this in their own way, whether it's military action or diplomatic, way. I don't know, because he was able to do it with North Korea without firing a shot.
That's right.
So we may be able to do this without firing a shot. Who knows? You know what I mean? We don't know. Even if the Lord did show me what they were going to do, I wouldn't be broadcasting it, because I don't want to tell the enemy what's coming. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I mean,
good point, buddy.
You know what I mean? So I mean, either way, I just trust the president and what's going on right now. There's not a time to walk in fear right now. It's like almost the oil thing. They're worried about the oil prices going up. Give me a break, really. Here we are. We are the largest energy producer in the world, Chris, and they're what is it going up $15 already?
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous. So anything to try and hurt the United States right now at this point. So the big thing is just don't get caught up in that mess. God's got everything under control. Watch the president and what he says. That's who you need to pay attention to right now.
Great advice. Good point. And I'm with you there. The gas prices. And Mark, there was a report out last week, actually, that America has now surpassed Saudi Arabia and Russia as the world's most largest oil exporter. And a lot of that I lay at the feet of President Trump. A lot of his policies, a lot of the things that he's done over these last 18 months to 2 years. A lot of the policies that he's done and just taken the government's hand off the oil refinery industry in itself has been a blessing to this country. And, I don't want to dwell on this, but I will mention this. Me and you talked about this about a year and a half ago, that you felt like that at least that the Lord had showed you that the debt would be paid down, that the Lord was going to do something miraculous here in the country about the national debt. And one of the avenues that he was going to use was literally oil revenue that would be coming in, because you saw this coming about a year and a half ago and you didn't know the specifics of it. But it's almost like it's prophetic with what's going on with the oil supplies. And look, we don't need to be held over a barrel, pardon the pun, but we don't need to be held over a barrel by these third world dictatorship countries that every time they cough over there, that our gas prices shoot up, as you said, $15 a barrel. And that's going to fall on us. That'll go up 3-4, let's go to 30, 40 cents a gallon. It's amazing. You can go to a gas station on a morning at 9 o'clock and it's $2.15, and then you go back out at lunch and it's $2.70, and you're like, what happened between 9 and 10, 12? And something hiccuped in the Middle East, and these speculators get in there. It's tragic, but I do see something prophetic in this a little bit with the oil price and the supply.
Well, in that one prophecy, I think it was America, where it talked about where gas prices would be $1 a gallon and below. Now, we haven't gotten there yet. Are we going to get there? Yeah, I believe we are. Because, something that nobody's talking about is that the president's been tweeting out a lot about these cars. Why are they so expensive? And he talked about a car that was like a $3,000 car or something like that. I can't remember what it was now. And so it's like, why is he doing that all of a sudden? Because there's always more to his tweets than meets the eye. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, if he's talking about a $3,000 car that'll be the best car you've ever driven, like he was talking about, then what's $1 a gallon gas is nothing for us. You know what I mean? Look, we have oil reserves, Chris. We have more oil sitting underneath the United States probably than anybody else on the earth. There's an island off the coast of Alaska, I think it is. I think it starts with a K. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on this. And they have capped that thing off. It was capped off like 30, 40 years ago. And they capped that thing off, and they said that one oil reserve was enough to supply all of the United States for the next 150 years or something like that. It was an unbelievable reserve that we had. And they've not one time tapped into this because they were purposely, back in the 70s, trying to keep, when we had the oil embargoes and all the energy crisis that we were having. All of that was man-made garbage is all it was to keep us from moving forward like the cabal has wanted to do from day one.
That's right, Mark. That's right. No, without a doubt. And I'm going to just say this, and we'll leave Iran and go on to something else. One thing President Trump has promised, and one thing that he's kept his word on, is he will not get America deeply involved in any unnecessary war.
Right.
And I see that the wisdom that he's going to use in Iran is the same thing. And a lot of this, I believe, Mark, is just, I think it's a shot across the bow to them to let them know that we're fully aware of what they're doing. And look, these sanctions that he's had them under, I'm getting reports through our newspaper and through different people over there. Those are crippling. Those are crippling that Iranian regime. And I'm telling you, just like you said a while ago, I don't even think he's going to have to fire a shot. Look, President Trump knows he's got the upper hand in this, and I'm like you, just follow the president's tweets and take the lead from him. Go ahead.
Well, I think it's awfully cool. It's not coincidence that Bolton was just gotten rid of about 5 days ago.
That's right.
And now all of a sudden, Iran fires a shot. Do you think maybe Trump knew this was coming?
Absolutely.
And they got rid of Bolton beforehand?
Absolutely.
Because that way, because if I don't know, part of the military-industrial complex is gone. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, they probably knew this was already coming, and they were preparing for it.
Yeah. Well, Bolton was a warmonger. Now, let me tell you something. I have no respect for John Bolton, and I mean, I know that he was tough on some things at times, but I've never been a fan. And honestly, I sort of celebrated the fact he got fired. And President Trump's he's not gonna put up with insubordination. And if you don't agree with this foreign policy, because see, Mark, that's the thing that people don't understand. It's not the National Security Advisor's job to set foreign policy. It's the president's job. And if you don't go and get on board with the president's policy, you need to hit the door. And I think that's what President Trump basically told him. And he said, bye, see you later. You don't like it, you can get out. That's what I love about him. And I think that's what we all love about him. But anyway, hey, moving on, another story tonight that's a little bit more troubling. Not that Iran's not troubling, but I think President Trump's got that pretty much. He knows what he's doing there. This other story, it's really a travesty, not so much of justice, but just morality and just this continued onslaught of false accusation, fake news. Brett Kavanaugh has come under fire again. Supposedly somebody has come forward again with some kind of claim that he sexually assaulted her. Comes to find out that she worked for the Clintons. Come to find out she told the New York Times she's not sure of the assault, can't be clear about it. They went ahead and reported it without any kind of evidence. And then all of a sudden, like parrots on a stick, if I can say stick without somebody out there getting offended tonight, but just saying. But anyway, that's an inside joke between me and Taylor. Yeah. But it's my brother from another mother. We've got a camaraderie that's pretty strong. But seriously, if it was as if parrots went off in the Democratic Party, Mark, all weekend, all you heard was a chorus of statements. We need to impeach Brett Kavanaugh. Impeach. And then the fake news outlets jumped in on this. MSNBC jumped in, and my Lord, Brett Kavanaugh's got a target on his back again. Now, you felt like that the Lord showed you a few things about this, or you've got some thoughts on that. I'm going to let you go ahead and tell us about what you think about that tonight.
Well, here's the thing. Again, anytime they come up with something like this, they're saying, look over here because something over here is about to happen.
That's right, Mark.
What is about to happen? Well, number one, we all know the OIG, FISA stuff is already coming down the pike right now. It's already been handed over to the DOJ. They're looking at it right now. I think it's already been approved or whatever. They're trying to declassify or take the whatever it is, redacted stuff out of it, whatever it is, the terminology they use. So they're going after Brett Kavanaugh. Now, there's a couple of reasons, or there's many reasons why. There's not just one. There's many reasons why. Now, Tracy Beans, I follow her on Twitter, and she's one of these investigative reporters, and she says that we are about to start the new Supreme Court term. And the cases that are going to be heard, the cases that the left expect to lose. There's three major cases that are going before the Supreme Court that they are expected to lose, the liberals are, and they know it. So they're trying their darndest to get rid of Brett Kavanaugh in order to do that. That's one thing. And one of these cases they've agreed to hear is the case of New York Pistol and Rifle Association against New York City to determine if guns can be carried or transported outside the home. This goes right to the heart of concealed carry and right to self-defense. Now, if they are going to lose that case, liberals are. And when they do, she's saying that gun control will be dead at that point. That's huge. This is going to have a countrywide effect. Now, the other case she's talking about, what was the other one here? DACA. Okay, DACA. This is going to have to do with also ruling on it's a citizenship question can be added to the U.S. Census, which has got to do with the voting.
That's right.
So this is going to be huge. The liberals are expected to lose that one as well, guys. Do you see what's going on here? FISA, OIG. You got three major cases. The third one here, I'm not going to go into what a third one is here. It's another huge case here. People can look it up. And so, but there's three cases that they're expected to literally lose. They're panicking right now, and they're doing everything they can. Now, here's my thoughts on a couple other things. Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Exactly.
Where's Ruth? Where's Ruth? Hashtag, where's Ruth? Okay. Now, is she, you've got this timeline coming up. Now, isn't it, correct me if I'm wrong on this, isn't there a rule or something like that the president now cannot put someone in office like a year before the election or something like that, like they did with Obama or